Imagine a wooden giant packed with weary heroes, bursting apart in a roar of steam and fire, claiming more lives in one night than any other shipwreck in American history. The Sultana steamboat vanishes into the river's cold grip, its story buried under the cheers of a war just ended. Why did this nightmare fade from our memory so fast? It is April 1865. The American Civil War ends in bitter relief. Union soldiers, freed from Confederate prison camps, dream of home after months of hunger and hardship. They board the Sultana in Vicksburg, Mississippi, a paddle wheel steamer meant for cotton, not crowds. This tale matters now because it shows how haste and greed can turn hope into horror, a lesson rivers of time can't wash away. Over 2,000 men squeeze onto a boat built for 376, their joy masking the danger below decks. On April 21st, the Sultana leaves New Orleans with just 70 passengers and a crew of 85. It heads north, but a boiler leak forces a stop at Vicksburg 2 days later. There, Army officer Captain Frederick Speed loads nearly 2,000 paroled prisoners, weak from camps like Andersonville. The decks sag under the weight of men from Ohio, Michigan, and beyond. Captain James Cass Mason agrees to carry them for government pay, but bribes from Quartermaster Reuben Hatch push the numbers too high. A quick patch fixes the leaky boiler, ignoring warnings for a full repair. By April 24th evening, the Sultana chugs upriver against spring floods, trees poking from swirling waters. On April 26th, it pauses at Helena, Arkansas, where a photographer snaps a picture of the crammed decks. Men grin for the camera, unaware of the strain on the patched boilers. That night, the boat unloads sugar in Memphis, Tennessee, then slips away near midnight, coal barges trailing in the dark. Around 2 a.m. on April 27th, 7 miles north of Memphis, disaster strikes. One boiler erupts, steam ripping through the hull like a thunderclap, followed by 2 more in chain blasts. Decks collapse, smokestacks topple, and flames leap high as the boat spins helpless in the current. Hundreds plunge into the icy flood, the river swollen from meltwater. Rescue boats race from Memphis docks as dawn breaks. The southbound steamer Bostonna No. 2 pulls scores from the waves first. Others join, the Jenny Lind, Silver Spray, and Navy ships like the USS Essex. By morning, the burning wreck grounds on the Arkansas shore, sinking after 5 hours of agony. First reports come from survivors washed ashore. Their words rush to Memphis papers. The Memphis Daily Appeal notes over 1,500 aboard, with flames seen from the city. According to Brigadier General William Hoffman's May 19th investigation, 1,238 lives were lost, mostly soldiers. The War Department confirms in 1880 that 1,259 perished, with 931 survivors treated in hospitals. Newspaper accounts from the St. Louis Daily Missouri Democrat describe the boiler patch as hasty, confirmed by crew statements. A 2015 engineering report by Pat Jennings details sediment buildup in the flues as a key factor based on boiler design analysis. Passenger lists from the parole camp, held in National Archives, show 1,950 prisoners loaded despite capacity limits. Photographs from Helena prove the overcrowding, with men stacked like cordwood on every level. Hoffman's report alleges Hatch took kickbacks, though no full trial followed. Death tolls vary across records, from 1,100 in a 1867 military justice report to 1,547 by U.S. Customs. Some experts, like Gene Saliker, argue for 1,169 based on survivor rolls, while others stick to higher counts due to unrecovered bodies. No single list names all victims, leaving gaps in who boarded that night. Sabotage whispers persist, like an 1888 claim of a Confederate coal torpedo planted by Robert Loudon. A 1903 story suggests a farmer hid gunpowder in a log, but river traffic and coal use make it unlikely. Most historians, including a 2014 PBS review, point to overload and poor repairs over plots, as evidence leans mechanical. Uncertainties remain on exact bribes, with Hatch's papers lost to time. Those men had endured prison hells, emerging thin as reeds, hearts full of reunion dreams. Fathers, brothers, sons, they shared stories under stars. The river's lap, a promise of peace. When the blast came, many never woke, steam and fire stealing breath in seconds. Others fought the chill, clinging to debris till hands gave out. We honor their quiet strength, not the pain, in tales from the few who reached shore, wrapped in blankets by kind strangers. Survivors like Private Jordan Barr gripped a railing for hours, water to his chest, whispering prayers for family. In Memphis wards, doctors mended breaks and burns, but grief lingered for lost comrades, bonds forged in camps now broken forever. Families waited north, letters undelivered, graves unmarked for hundreds whose names drifted away. This loss touched towns from Michigan to Tennessee, a shared scar in victory's shadow. Think of the boilers like overfilled pots on a stove. Water sloshes, heat builds uneven, and one bubble bursts the lid. Overcrowding tipped the Sultana like a wobbly cart, shifting loads that starved the fires of balance. Engineers today see it as a wake-up. Brittle metal from old mills cracked under war's rush, sediment like river mud choked the pipes. This ripple changed laws, birthing strict boiler checks that guard our bridges and factories still. In history's broad sweep, it whispers of war's loose ends, greed unchecked when eyes turn to parades. Ethically, it asks, who counts the overlooked when headlines chase assassins over the drowned? Like a forgotten root under a mighty tree, it steadies lessons on safety and care. We know the Sultana left Vicksburg overloaded on April 24th, exploded at 2 a.m. on the 27th from boiler failure, and sank after frantic rescues. What we don't, exact bribes, or if sabotage hid in the steam, gaps fade facts. But the human cost stands clear. Now, how does this echo in our safer seas today? A permanent museum in Marion, Arkansas opens this fall, displaying relics and names to keep memory afloat. High confidence as plans advance. River surveys might map the wreck deeper, using sonar like a river's echo, revealing more bones. Medium confidence, pending funds. Debates on memorials could grow, tying it to Civil War sites, but national focus stays low without big pushes. Low confidence for quick change. These steps honor the lost, turning footnote to foundation. In the end, the Sultana teaches that even in triumph, care for the weary matters most. If hidden histories pull you, watch next. The bizarre kidnapping of Aldi's CEO. Another tale of twists fate forgot. Thanks for joining this quiet dive into the past.